Hey everybody, this is video number 16 of the series. This is local, produced, and consumed. And this is actually going to be a remake of a video that we currently had up, but it was the first video we ever made and the quality was not good. So we decided that we were going to go ahead and remake this. So I'm going to walk you through how to do a produced and a consumed tag. This is two processors talking to each other. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a new project, and I need to give this a name, and I'm going to call it something that makes sense. So I'm going to call this local produced. And it is a 1756 L71 in an A71 chassis, and I am in slot 0. So let me go ahead and set this up. This is going to take me a second. All right, so we have this pulled up here, just waiting for the controller organizer to pop up here. Now, the first thing that we're going to look at is right over here. You'll see that our back plane is a 1756 A7, and I actually need to change that to an L71. Change controller, 1756 L71. This is going to take a second because we're changing the controller type. There we go, 1756 L71 in slot 0. Now, since this is local, we're going to have to add another processor. Again, this is two processors talking to each other. So we're going to have to add a new module. And we are going to be doing another controller, which is a 1756 L71. Create. Our major revision is 3. Okay. And I'm going to call this one local consumed. There we go. I'm going to click OK. But we are not in slot 1. This one will be in slot 3. There we go. So this is our main processor or controller, and this is where we are going to be letting our information go to. So I'm going to open the main routine. So now we need to start making tags, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a count. So I'm going to make a counter, counter 1, and it is a base, but it is not a dent. It is a counter, and I'm going to create it. So now I'm going to go right up here, and I'm going to grab a counter and put it down here. And I'm going to select the tag that I just made. Now you see that this rung turned blue, which means there is nothing wrong with it. This would actually work, but a counter has got to have a pulse, an on and an off. So I need a way to control it to get that pulse of an on to an off to an on to an off to get it to count. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new tag, and I'm just going to call it a toggle, and this one will be a bool since it's just an individual bit. And there you see that our rung turned blue again. And this will, as we toggle this bit, we will begin to get a count. We have to have a preset value, some type of a value that we are trying to get to. And I'm just going to put in the value of 10. So this right here will work, but this will only be contained in the local produced processor, or the processor in slot 0. In order to get this to go to the other processor, we have to create what is known as a produced tag. So I'm going to create a new tag. I'm going to call this one produced tag. And instead of it being a base or an alias like everything we've done before, we're going to come down here to produced. And then you'll see that this connection box has opened up. And we're going to click on that. And this is asking the max number of consumers. How many people or how many consumers can get this information? If I set this for 1 and somebody else tried to consume that information, it would actually give us a little bit of a fault saying you got too many people trying to get this information. So we're just going to set ours to 1 for now. And since this is accumulated value is what we're going to be sending over, and that is a dent, we're going to leave that at the dent level. Now, the easiest way to do this, for me to do this, is with a move. I'm just going to add a move right down here, and I'm going to add counter 1's accumulated value, which is a dent. It's at the dent level. And I'm going to move that into my produced tag. So every time we toggle this, we'll get a count of 1. When we go from an off to an on state, our accumulated value will go up. Our move will automatically move counter 1's accumulated value into this produced tag. So I'm actually done on this side right here. But now I have to set up the consumer side. So I'm going to have to set up a new project, and I'm going to call this one local consumer, or consumed. And this one is going to be in slot 3 because that's where we set it up earlier on the other program. And this will take a second to pop up. And what we're going to be doing on this one right here, this is where we're going to be setting up the consumer side of it, the one that is going to be consuming the information that is being produced in the producer. All right, here we go. I'm going to open the main routine. Go. All right. Now, we're going to have to do the same things. We're going to have to make some tags. So the first tag that I'm going to make, or one of the tags that I'm going to make, is going to be our consumed tag. And we're going to come down here. It is not a base, an alias, or produced. This time it is a consumed. And when we select consumed, you'll see that the connection box opens up. And this says, when we're looking at this, who's going to be producing this information? Well, I don't have anything just yet. So I'm going to close those. I'm going to come back over here to the backplane. I'm going to add a new module. It is going to be a controller. It is a 1756L71, and I'm going to target the producer. And I'm going to call this one local producer. And that one is the one that we set up earlier in slot 0, so I can leave that just the way it is. And you'll see that it popped up right here. So now when I go back to my controller tags, I'm going to make up that tag again. Consumed tag. I'm going to go to consumed tag, and it's going to say who is going to be producing this. Well, the local producer is the one that's going to be producing it. So I'm going to select that one there. And then it says, what information are we looking for? Now, there's different ways of doing this. I like to go back to my original program, go to my tags, copy it, and paste it. Now, the reason that I do that is because it doesn't matter. It has got to be exactly the same. If you have one space out of order, a capital or a lowercase letter out of order, anything that doesn't match, it will not find it. It is looking for that exact tag. It's looking for capital PRODUCED underscore lowercase TAG. If any of that is not exactly right, it will never see this information. All right, and that one was at the dent level. As you remember, if we're sending information over, then our information has got to be at the same level. So 1 dent to 1 dent, 50 dents to 50 dents. You have to consume all of that information and then take out what you want. So ours is at the dent level, so we're going to leave it right there, and we are going to create that. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a comparison. I'm going to be looking to see if the accumulated value back in the first program, if the accumulated value gets transferred into produce tag, it's going to be just throwing it out there on the network, and this side is going to be looking for that. So I'm going to say if the consumed tag is equal to 5, we're going to do something. And you'll see that the line is still red right here. That's because we don't have an output on this line. So I'm going to add an output, and I'm going to make another new tag that is just called light. This light will come on if the consumed tag equals the value of 5. I'm going to create that. There you go, and you see that our rung turned blue. So we'll walk through this real quick. We'll go back to the first program, and in slot 0 is my local produced, and this program, every time this toggles on and off, my counter will count, trying to get the accumulated value to equal the preset value. But even if they don't equal each other, this rung here, this move function is moving the accumulator value of counter 1 into the produced tag. And it's just throwing it out there on the network. And when we go to our second program, which is our consumer, you'll see that the consumer, if the consume tag is looking back at the producer tag and getting that information. And if it equals 5, it will turn on this light. So I'm going to download these two real quick, and then we will walk through these. All right, I've got them both downloaded. I think what we'll do is set these side by side so you can see what's going on with them. All right, here we go. So we got them side by side. This is one program right over here. This is our local produced, and this program over here is our local consumed. So again, when I turn on my toggle, you'll see that my count went from 0 to 1. And each time I toggle this, it's going up. And then in my move function, counter 1's accumulated value is being moved into my produced tag. And as it gets moved into my produced tag, this program over here, since I set up a consumed tag, is looking back at this processor and getting the produced tag information. And you'll see that it's going up right over here. And I'll toggle this again. And you'll see that as it goes up over here, it's going up over there. That's these two processors talking to each other. And since this is a comparison, which is an equals, when my consumed tag equals 5, we will get our light to come on. So I'm just going to continue to toggle this. And each time I toggle this, you'll see this come on. I'll toggle again. And since it equaled 5, it turned on the light. Now I'm going to toggle it one more time. And since it no longer equals 5, the light went off. But as long as I continue to toggle right over here, this one is going to continue to go up. So that's how we are doing a produced and consumed tag. And this is local, so both processors are in the exact same chassis. Hopefully you like this video and it's a little better than the one that we had done previously. I believe our next video, video 17 in the series, is remote produce and consume. That's two processors in two different chassis talking to each other. But let us know what you think about this video, and we'll continue to make more. Thank you.